Okay. Can everyone see me, hear me? Because big surprise, more technical difficulties tonight. So throw me something if you can hear me and see me. We've got shifts in technology, and I'm sure there's like planets swirling around somewhere that are impacting what's going on with our technology right now. So hopefully this is coming through. On one end it says that it is, and I'm seeing different, okay, yes, yay, thank you. Okay, so I'm seeing some major lag from where what I am putting up on the screen is showing up to y'all, and I promise that I will do my best to try to figure all this out by next week. There looks like there was some kind of shift on the YouTube side in regards to whether this needed to be going through other software, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. You can see me, you can hear me, that's all that matters. I'm gonna do my best to make this work. Welcome, and we're mostly starting on time, so yay. Welcome to TG-ENBY Projects, Monday, 5 p.m. Livestream Fitness. I'm Elliot, I'm the founder of this project. If you are not familiar with us and you want more information about us, you can go over to TG-ENBY.com. You can find us on Instagram, TG-ENBY.project, and you can always subscribe and follow here on YouTube and stay up to date on classes, live streams, other videos, things going on as I figure out how to use the technology. I know it's the same story every week. Oh, Elliot doesn't know how to use the internet. It's funny, I know, but we're learning how to do new things in this new situation we're finding ourselves in. So spread the word. It's pure comedy. Watch a nearly 40-year-old learn how to use the internet. So welcome. I'm a certified personal trainer over at Everybody Los Angeles, and I am bringing you fitness here on Mondays at 5 p.m. You can also catch me Pacific Standard Time, by the way. You can always catch me on Fridays at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time through Everybody Los Angeles on Zoom teaching animal flow. So, like I said, tonight is core. So thank you everyone who's here, because I know core is everyone's favorite, right? It's totally not my favorite, but it's super important because our abdominals, our core, which technically your core is more than just your abdominals. It's your entire lumbo-pelvic hip complex, which is your entire torso and your hips. And that includes the front, the side, and the back of that whole complex. So your core is more than just your abdominals. What do we have? Candace, here. Thanks, friend. I appreciate it. By the time we're on the other side of this, I'm going to be an expert at doing this online. So I guess I'll just have to keep it up, huh? All right, as always, go at your own pace. Take a break if you need to take a break. Listen to your body, because you are the best expert in your own body. If you need water, stop and take water. If you need to walk away from this practice for a moment, go ahead and do it. It's okay. This is just about what you can do today and nothing else. So put some music on if you want to put some music on. I don't have music going so that you can hear me and so that we don't get pinged by YouTube for a licensing issue. So let's start to get warm. We're going to move through warm up. It's going to be about 10 minutes or so. And then I'm going to teach and drill each of the movements. And then we're going to put them together. We're using our HIIT format tonight, so high intensity interval training, which is we're using 60 seconds of work with 30 seconds of rest, and it's continuous movement. 5 movements, and then we just cycle right back to the beginning. So depending on what our time looks like when we get through our warm-up, we'll do those 5 movements, 3-ish rounds. 3 rounds tends to be good. By the end of 3 rounds, we're toast. So, all right, let's go ahead and start with some deep squats. I'm going to get some time going here, and then we will move. So together tonight. All right, so for your deep squats, I'm gonna give you full body view here. You wanna reach your hips back, and we're just working on going as low as you can go right now. Pay attention to your knees. If your knees are telling you that that's too deep, then it's too deep. You're gonna notice as you start to work, your hips are gonna start to open up a little bit, and you might be able to go a little bit deeper. I've been kind of moving all day because I've been training clients, so I'm already a little warm, and I walked here. Drive your knees apart as you're squatting. I'm going to turn this way so you can see that I'm a little bit wider than hips width apart here because I'm just starting out this movement and it's a warm up segment. I'm giving my hips a little more room to work. You're doing great. Got about 10 more seconds here. Breathe in as you squat down, exhale to come up. Very nice. Inhale and exhale. Make sure you're using your glutes, so squeeze your butt to drive your pelvis up and forward. Next, we have some dynamic hamstring walks. So you're going to kick your foot up towards your opposite hand. Once again, we're getting 60 seconds here. Exhale, and try to use your lower abdominals to pick your leg up. We're seeking for that elongating sensation in the hamstrings, which is the back of the thighs. I'm going to give you a side view. Exhale and exhale. Good. I like to keep my foot flexed to get more of a lengthening in the hamstring. If you can't kick your leg up this high, it's totally fine. If all you have is here, this is good too. You're just seeking that stretching sensation in the back of your thigh. Start to bring awareness to your belly. Keep your belly nice and tight. And just move through these one at a time. Your pacing is entirely your own. You don't have to work at the same pace that I do. Very nice. Good. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to work through some shoulder rolls. So right in here. So we are going to be doing some planking, which is why we want to make sure that the shoulders get warm. And keeping a nice athletic stance, even though we're working the upper body. I'm bringing my shoulders up, forward, and down. If you're feeling tight in your upper traps, this is a really great way to loosen that up. And other way, squeeze them together, navel towards your spine, and breathe. I forget to breathe. We all forget to breathe. It's totally fine. Just if you find yourself, you're like, oh gosh, I'm holding my breath, just give it a nice strong and exhale. Because I promise, once you exhale, you'll inhale. Good. Let's have some head rolls. So roll your head, nice and gentle. We're always gentle with the neck. These muscles are little. Mine's got Rice Krispies in it today, apparently. And take it the other way. Very good. And let's get some arm circles. I've got a nice soft bend in my knees, and I'm keeping my belly tight, my pelvis tucked. So I'm not up here with my booty out, which that looks kind of cute, but we want to keep a nice flat back so that our low back doesn't start to bother us. And change directions. Once we're done with these arm circles, we're going to do an inchworm with a front step. So in an inchworm, I'll demonstrate this one first, so please watch before you start to move, especially if you haven't done these before. Sweep your arms up, hinge, so we're bowing. If you need to bend your knees a little, that's fine. You're going to bring your hands to the ground, walk your hands out to a plank, and we're going to exhale, front step, back to plank, front step, back to plank, and then walk your hands back to your feet, sweep your arms up. We set us up with 60 seconds. Move through these at your own pace. Arms up, hinge, walk it out to the plank, front step, back, front step, back. Walk your hands back to your feet and up. Keep your belly tight. We're trying to keep the backs of the legs as long as we can for the whole movement, all portions of this movement. And up, hinge. If you have to go slower, that's totally okay. If you have problems with your wrist, it's all right if you modify, maybe use a piece of furniture, like your couch or a chair, to just step back into a plank. You can even hold the side of a chair so that your wrist stays neutral. And go. Good. Almost there. Exhale. Exhale. And bring it back. And beautiful. Let's get some wrist work in here. Roll your wrists. I'm going to come in closer so you can see what's happening here. Good. And other way. Because we're going to be planking, we want to make sure that we're taking good care of our wrists. Wrist relief position, so backs and the palms together. Awesome. And then dynamic wrists. So we're going to take these shaka fingers here, and we're going to start with a lateral, almost like they're at a concert. Head banging wrists, head banging hands, however you want to think about it. And then front to back. All right, so our 5 movements, we have alternating reaches, we have a braced squat, we have an alternating plank reach, flutter kicks, and a Russian twist. Now, if you have access immediately to something with a little bit of weight to it, it doesn't have to be a lot, go ahead and grab it, but if you don't, that's all right. Some examples of things that work would be books, coffee table books, a backpack with some heavy items in it. If you do have weights available, you can grab them. So I have a kettlebell right here. I'm going to be using this 10-pound steel bell, which is just a neoprene sack with steel shot in it. Now, none of this is absolutely necessary for tonight, but you can use it if you have it. There are plenty of ways to just use body weight in order to get the same impact. Okay. All right, so let's teach and drill each movement. We'll start with the alternating reaches. I'm going to point this down at the ground so that you can see. We're going to be sitting and coming into a crab position. I like my hands pointing back for crab positions so I get an external rotation on the shoulders. Brace your belly. Remember, this is all about the core, so keep it tight. I'm going to brace my belly, pick your hips up an inch off the ground. You're going to really corkscrew. That's going to give you the stability in your shoulder. Exhale, stabilize, and pick up opposing limbs and reach for your foot. And then you'll exhale, switch. If you can't extend your leg all the way, it's totally okay. If you can't reach your toe all the way, that's fine too. You'll notice in the extension of my legs that my right leg doesn't get as straight as my left leg. Mine just tend to be tighter on my right side in general. So don't worry about it. It's normal. I promise there's nothing wrong with your body. Let's go ahead and drill this. Let's do 10 on each side. Give you a chance to feel it out. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them up there. Oh yay, welcome Asher. I'm glad that you made it. All right. I'm keeping an eye on that. Those of you that are joining late, there is a bit of a lag going on right now, so I'm seeing your comments. It looks like about 30 or 40 seconds after you're actually posting them. So if it takes a moment, that's what's going on. So go ahead and set up your crab, and we're going to hit 10 on each side. Go ahead and brace and exhale, and switch. 1, 2, trying to stay nice and steady in the hips. 3, 4, 5, 6, pulling your navel to the spine, 7, 8, corkscrew, keep your feet a little bit wider than hips, and 1 more each side, and 10. All right, so that was your alternating reach. Your next movement after that is a braced squat. Race squat, you're gonna take either a book, your heavy object, or just your hands if you don't have a weight. You can even use your dog if you have a smallish dog. Arms are extended out in front of you, and squat. So anytime we move a weight far away from the center of the body, it's harder work for the core to stabilize it. So let's work through 10 of these, whatever you're holding, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, shoulders stay out of your ears, 2, and 1. If it felt really intense for you to hold that weight out on your shoulders, then you can just extend it as you squat down and bring it in. There's a lot of different ways to vary these movements up and make them appropriate for where you are right now. Okay, so that alternating plank reach, what the heck is that? Let's find out. And also let's give you some variations. So this is a slightly more challenging movement. So if you need a variation, take a variation. This can be done, like I said earlier, about your inchworm. You can do this on a couch or a chair if planking down on the ground is painful for your wrists or your core strength is just not quite there where you can stabilize in that position safely. From a plank with a wide base, meaning that my feet are a little bit wider than hips width apart, I'm going to lift my right foot and extend my left arm and reach. Reaching through my fingertips and through my heel. If doing this in this elongated plank position is too challenging for you, you can bring your knees in and you can just work on here, okay? Or you can even bring your knees down to the ground and work through a bird dog. So let's get 4 of these on each side, whatever variation you want to try. I'll demonstrate a couple in each variation. So we're going to go reach and reach. 1, reach, reach, 2, reach, reach, 3. I'm coming back out to this plank variation. Reach and reach. 4. Good. So that's your alternating plank reach. Right after that, we're going to come to the back. So notice we're kind of switching up how we're using our body so that we're not fatiguing, we're not spending the entire time on our wrists. We're actually not doing any crunches. So there's lots of different ways to work the core. We're working on hitting all the different angles of the abdominals and the core. So our flutter kicks, I like to have a little support here, but if you're stronger, you can do this up here. So this is my chosen variation. We're just going to work through little controlled kicks, okay? You can also bring them out here, okay? You can do your kicks here. I can't maintain that position for very long, so in interest of my back, I don't do it. I'm going to give us 30 seconds for you to just practice that. Siri's trying to get in on the game here. Girl, we don't need you right now. All right, 30 seconds, and go ahead and practice your flutter kicks, whatever variation. Just think about keeping your chest open. Brace your belly, so pull your navel towards your back, and only make these kicks as big as you can control. If having your feet extended out this far is not maintainable for you, you can bring them higher. We really want to think about engaging the lower abdominals as we work through these kicks. You can bring your knees in, and you can work through here. If your legs extended is too much weight for you to support without your low back hurting. Good, and relax. We have one more movement. So after the flutter kicks, we're going to do a Russian twist. Your Russian twist you can do with a weight or without. You can have your feet on the ground, or you can pick them up. You can even have them extended. So if you are like in a Pilates class like 3 times a week, and you have like amazing, super strong abs, go ahead and take whatever variation feels good for you. If you don't do a lot of core work and this is all very challenging for you, then take the variation that feels appropriate. All right, so for your Russian twist, if you're using a weight, you're going to hold it relatively close to your body. Okay, it's more challenging if we bring it out here, same concept as the brace squat. You're going to exhale, set the weight down by one hip, and then bring it around and exhale, sit it down next to the other hip. Notice the angle on my seat. I'm not sitting up in a 90-degree angle. I'm back at 45, and I'm making a C out of my abdominals. So I'm conceptualizing my lower rib getting closer to the top of my pelvis, and the top of my pelvis getting closer to my lower rib. I'll demonstrate it without the weight so that you can see what that looks like right in here, just like I'm holding something. Exhale and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So those are your 5 movements. If any questions came up for you, let's see, is your tush supposed to be off the ground? Asher, I am assuming that you are talking about the alternating reaches, correct? Because that's the one where we are here. So if that's the movement that you are referring to for the alternating reaches, then yes. Ideally, your tush is lifted off the ground about 1 inch, okay? That said, if this is like not a reality for you with your tush lifted off the ground, then by all means, bring your tush to the ground and practice reaching here. So you'll brace your core and you're still gonna feel your abdominals working, all right? You can even, if in between that, if you want to work through here without the support of your hand behind you, you're also going to start to build up strength here by holding this 45-degree position. So just a couple of other notes on this since the question came up, and I don't think I covered it in the initial demonstration. You want to make sure that your grounded foot is staying flat, that you're not coming up onto the ball of your foot. You're talking about the first movement, yes. Okay, perfect. So, yes, initial variation has the tush lifted, but you always take whatever variation feels good for you. So make sure your foot's flat, that your weight's not coming all the way down towards your butt. And if you give yourself a wider base in your feet, it's gonna be a little easier. The more narrow you are, turn this way so you can see. So that if you're super narrow here, when you go to reach, your hips are going to be all over the place. So if you base out a little wider and then exhale and brace your belly, you'll find that is a lot more accessible. All right, if nobody has any other questions, then we will go ahead and get started. So once again, we've got alternating reaches, braced squats, alternating plank reach, flutter kicks, and Russian twist. 60 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Take those breaks wherever you need them. So, but from the time I start the clock till the time we finish is going to be a little over 20 minutes. So, water, 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 leading by example here. Alternating reaches is first. I'm going to start our clock. I'm going to put it right down here where I can see it. Is everyone ready? All right, we're going to start in 3, 2, and 1. Bringing it down, setting up your crab, and remember to exhale. If at any point anyone needs a different angle than what I'm giving you, just go ahead and throw it up there on the screen. I'm checking up here as frequently as I can to see if anybody's throwing any questions up. Good. Woo! I lost my shoulder engagement there, which is why you saw me kind of stumble a little. I didn't have my corkscrew active in my shoulder, so my shoulder wasn't prepared to take the weight. So the corkscrew that I'm talking about is thinking about screwing your hand down into the ground. Good, belly button to the back. exhale. If you can't reach your toe, don't worry about it. And then 2, 1, good. 30 seconds of rest. Next up, we're coming into the brace squat. When we're doing your alternating reaches, try not to let the inside arch of your foot collapse. Bring that up a little bit. So braced squat, arms extended, and squat. You have about 10 seconds left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slightly wider than hips in your stance. Reach your hips back and squeeze your butt to come up. Brace your belly. We want to try and keep your torso upright in the squat position. And pay a little close attention to what's happening with my knees, or rather what's not happening with my knees, all right? So my knees are not the prime joint here. Notice they're not moving forward, but maybe like half an inch. My hips are driving 30 seconds through. So my knees are staying over the center of my foot. If they go forward a little bit, it's fine. You just don't want to see them go over your toe line. So if you can't see your toes, you're probably pushing your knees forward first instead of your hips back. 10 seconds, shoulders should be warm. Pull your belly button back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take 30 seconds of recovery time. Next is the alternating plank reach. Remember, wide base in your legs for your plank, and then you can step it in if you need to take a different variation. 15 seconds, sorry, showing off my gams to y'all. 10 seconds. So once again, plank variation, beast variation, bird dog variation with the knees on the ground, and reach. You should really reach through your fingertips and press out through your heel. So you can see this side, reach and reach. Staying long in the back of the neck. And breathe. Beast variation, just so you, good. For those of you doing this variation, 30 seconds. My knees are off the ground. Now if you're doing the bird dog variation, for the bird dog variation, I'm extending my elevated leg, but I'm just barely keeping my toe lifted off the ground. I'm not lifting up here because then that pulls my hips out of alignment. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful work. Take 30 seconds of recovery. Next is the flutter kick. So this is the one where you come to your back. Brace yourself however you need to. Always taking the support that we need from the ground, from a piece of furniture, from a loved one, from a fur baby, whatever support you need. We've got 5 seconds to start to get into position. I'm taking this forearm variation and flutter kicks. Now, if this is uncomfortable on the hard ground, on your coccyx, which is your tailbone, go ahead and fold up a towel, a pillow, a cushion. I'm going to come right in here because this cement is feeling a little hard on mine. So I'm going to take some pressure off that way since I don't have anything soft readily available. Remember, you can do these alternating kicks here if that's what feels fun for you, or you're up and down. Also remember, you can bend your knee if your legs feel too heavy. Just try and pull from your lower abdominals and not your hip flexors. Those hip flexors are always trying to take over for the lower abdominals. But if you bring some mindfulness into the lower abs, you'll start to feel them turn on. It's gonna take some time. 2, 1, good. And take any relief positions in between that you need. So if you're like, ooh, I need to twist, just go ahead and take your twist. You don't have to sit still for the recovery time. I like to call it recovery time instead of rest time, because recovery time means that you take whatever you need to recover, whether that's water, stretching, just breathing, being still. All right, Russian twist is next. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, touch, touch. I'm pulling my navel towards my spine. I'm keeping my chest open, so I'm not slouching down into my low back. And I'm putting an exhale. I like to try to get the weight or whatever I'm shifting around all the way down to the ground. But if you don't have the mobility for that, it's totally fine. Just take whatever position you have access to. 30 seconds is down already. It goes by fast when we're having fun. And you can extend these legs if you need to, or if you need more of a challenge, pick your feet up off the ground. Good, exhale and breathe. You're doing great, y'all. You only have 10 seconds left in this movement, and then the first round, already done. You only have 15 more minutes left. 2, 1, and 30 seconds recovery. I feel like I need a little bit of hip flexor relief in this break, so I'm gonna take my favorite half kneeling hip flexor stretch in this 30 seconds of recovery. We're gonna cycle back to the beginning, which is the alternating reaches, in about 10 seconds. Have your water if you need water. Start to get yourself into position for alternating reaches. Set up your crab and brace and reach. Good, I'm working really hard. I'm focusing on what's happening with my feet, not letting my heel come off the ground, and not letting my inner arch collapse. If you notice that your knees are kind of dipping in towards each other, that just means you need to engage your glute a little bit more. And brace your belly. Abdominals are there to help us stay nice and stable. I love movements like this that help you feel how much your core actually does for you. It's responsible for keeping your torso upright, and that's a big job. It's got to work all day long and twist and turn you in all sorts of different positions. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. A little bit of recovery there. Whatever your body tells you it needs is exactly what it needs. Braced squats are next. I haven't seen any questions pop up, so I assume everyone's doing all right. If I am misinformed, then please, please, please throw something up on there for me. I'm here for you. That's why I love doing this live. If something comes up, we can address it. 4, 3, brace squats, and 2, and 1. Remember, you can extend this as you come down and then pull it in if you're still working on building up your stamina and workload capability in your shoulders. Reaching your hips back and squeeze. And squeeze. Beautiful, y'all. Inhale and exhale. Use your booty. Use your low back. Use your abdominals. Use your entire core. 30 seconds already down. If you're just holding it out, bring it here. It's okay if you have to mix it up. If you started one way and you need to shift to a different variation, that's fine. Good, 10 seconds. I've had a full day of training people, so my body's already a little bit tired. So I'm gonna listen to it when it tells me to chill out a little bit. Good, 30 seconds. Alternating plank reaches are next. 20 seconds. Whatever variation is good for you. I know you're like, God, I say that a lot. I say it a lot because I find that a lot of us need to hear it. Sometimes I need to hear it. You don't have to do the hardest variation every time. 3, 2, 1. Set up your plank and take whichever variation feels good. Now you don't have to lift your foot up really high in this movement. Remember, you're just floating the toe, pushing through the heel, and reaching with the opposing arm. If you try to do the same side leg and arm, you'll fall over because that's how gravity works. Good. And really focusing on keeping my hips stable. I don't want them rocking and bouncing and coming up and down. I want to keep my shoulder stacked over the wrist. Good. It's starting to get tired. I can feel it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. I'm going to take a pike for a recovery movement to kind of press the chest down and forward and give my shoulders some relief. All right. Flutter kicks are next. So remember, this is where we really start talking to our lower abdominals. 10 seconds. I'm going to try and put my coccyx on my mace or my steel bell here. And oh yeah, that'll work nicely. Don't be afraid to get creative. If you have something around your house and you're like, you know what, I think I can use this for that, you can. I say it a lot. The only rules here are the ones that we make for ourselves. It's really important to just take what your body says that it needs, and don't put these arbitrary standards. 30 seconds. I'm going to take a little bit of a rest there because I was like, oh hey, my low back is talking to me. My low back's saying take a little rest, so I'm going to. And then I'm just going to come back into it with a slight bend in my knees to take a little bit of the weight out. Keeping my shoulders out of my ears and really focusing, where are those low abs? There they are. Okay, that's what I want working. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Russian twist, and then we're done with the second round. Can you believe that? We only have less than 9 minutes of work left. Breezing by, right like that. Who's sweating? I'm sweating. 15 seconds of recovery time. Like I said earlier, whatever recovery movement feels good for you. Right now, just sitting still feels really good for me. 2, and 1. Exhale, twist and tap, and twist and tap. Beautiful work. I'm turning my chest, and I'm keeping my belly braced tight. Bracing is where if you think about making a really loud exhale, when you feel your abdominals get really tight and all pull in, that's the sensation of bracing. If you're not familiar with that sensation, go ahead and just spend some time practicing it when you have some space to yourself. And start practicing being able to generate that sensation on your own. It will help you a lot in not just your exercise practice, but how you move through your day. You'll find that as your abdominals get stronger, if you have low back pain, it should start to alleviate. There's other things involved there too, but it's a big one. Good, 30 seconds recovery. Then we're gonna come back into the beginning of our set, which is alternating reaches. And adjust this camera angle just a little so I can get a little bit closer to y'all. You feel so far away. All right. Got 7 seconds left. Alternating reaches. Last one, best one. So put just as much effort and focus into this one as you did the very first one. I like to focus form-wise on making my last one even better than my first one. If you can bring that mindfulness to your practice, you'll get stronger. You'll get stronger so much faster. So I've definitely had to slow myself down. I find myself getting a little wobbly here. So I'm going to bring my pacing down even more to make sure that each rep that I do is a quality rep. I'm not so concerned with the quantity that I get in my 60 seconds. I just want each one that I do to be the best one that I can possibly do. And you'll notice that your volume goes up. Good, 30 seconds of recovery. Brace squats are next. So if you're using an object for weight, pick it up. If you're not, it's fine. 15 seconds. If you need to take some lateral bends or some twists, do whatever feels good. Starting to definitely feel some warmth and some good engagement happening. 3, 2, 1. Reach your hips back and exhale as you squeeze your butt. If you're just holding it out, we're right here. Excuse me. And boom. Monday, am I right? Everyone's like, all the days are the same. I guess that just depends on if you have kids, if you're still working right now. Everyone's kind of moving through their own process with this huge collective thing that we're moving through. I can't wait until we can all come together and talk to each other. Kind of like good queers process. 5 seconds, you're doing amazing. Just keep it up one at a time. 2 and 1. All right. Those alternating plank reaches are next. I'm gonna bring this down a bit, once again, so I can stay closer to you. Hope everyone's having fun, not regretting their decision. We're all still friends, right? 7 seconds, it goes by fast. The rest goes by so fast. 3, 2, set up your plank, and whatever variation. I'm gonna come to this one this time. Good. Lift, and reach through your fingertips. Close your shoulder gap in the reach. It's that gap between your ear and your shoulder. But do so by bringing your shoulder to your ear, not your ear to your shoulder. If you're doing our bird dog variation here, we're extending the leg. 30 seconds. This bird dog, I hear a lot of people refer to it as a grandma exercise. This exercise is good for everyone, all right? Regardless of age. You can even add a crunch in here. This is really great for strengthening the posterior chain of your core, so your back, your low back, as well as your abdominals. Good, 30 seconds recovery. Flood or kicks. We're popping right through it. We have less than 3 minutes left. Just 2 more movements, flutter kicks and Russian twist. So, you know, when we were demoing these movements, it might have been like, holy Hannah, how are we gonna get through a whole session of just these 5 movements? HIIT protocol is the answer. So taking our rest within the work, set up your position, extend your legs in whatever variation of extension feels good for you. Brace, navel towards the back, shoulders down out of your ears, and find the lower abdominals. Where are you, lower abdominals? Okay, I'm pulling with my lower abs, not with my hip flexors. Our hip flexors tend to be really tight. They're our workhorse, so they will always try and take this over, but you'll get so much stronger in your hip flexion if you can start to engage your lower abs. They tend to be very underactive because we don't use them a lot. Take that rest that I talked about last time, because I feel like I need it, and then I'm gonna come back in the variation I know I can finish for the amount of time I have left, which is 7 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo, y'all, are you ready for the last movement? What did we say about the last one? That's right, it's the best one. Nice and strong. Remember your recovery movements if you need them. Hip flexors are it for me. Hip flexors are a thing when you start doing core work. If you're coming into this with tight ones already, then you're probably really feeling them right now. Just fine, we'll stretch them out. One, and last, Russian twist. If you need to make this harder, like I said before, just bring this weight out further from your body, but make sure that your back can handle that extra load. We want to be nice to our backs so that they're nice to us. You can always pick up your pacing if that's what feels appropriate. Just make sure that you're still getting the full range of motion and that you're staying properly engaged. Very nice, y'all. 20 seconds left. You can do anything for 20 seconds. Really proud of all of you for showing up for yourself tonight. Pull your belly button towards your back and get that twist. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! All right. Y'all made it through a whole freaking session of abdominal work. So I definitely want to know how you're feeling over the next couple days. So please don't ever hesitate to reach out. You can get me on Instagram. It's WERK_OUT. Send me a message. My email address is also on there. So don't ever feel like you can't reach out to me for something. If you have an idea for a class, something you want to try, something you want to learn, shoot it my way. I love, love, love feedback. Even if it's a, oh, you know what, I didn't really care for this, or maybe I want to see this done a different way. Let me know. All that feedback is really valuable. So take a moment, have some water, gain your composure, and we're going to start working on some recovery movements. So mobility at the end of the session, super, super important. We just ratcheted a bunch of things up nice and tight. So now we're going to take the time to loosen them back up and down-regulate our nervous system a little bit. All right, let's start on the tummy. Make sure you got a good view here of everything that you need to see. We're going to bring it down to the ground. Bring your hands to about mid-chest. If you have nipples, that's going to be your nipple line. And then underneath your shoulder, hands underneath your shoulders. Shoulders out of your ears. Brace your belly. Squeeze your butt cheeks. Okay? Squeeze your butt and then press up. So if just coming to the forearms feels intense for you, that's far enough. If you want to go further, you can press all the way up into this up dog position. I just want your shoulders out of your ears, squeezing together, and keep your booty tight. That's what's protecting your low back. And you're squeezing to press into your hip flexors and stretch out your abdominals. So hold that position for a few breaths. I see something here. I'm really sweaty too. You can see it. So core work will get you. I even left a little sweat print. Look at that little belly print there. All right, so you're in your up dog or your sphinx, whatever variation here feels good. Now tuck your toes under and lift your hips. Press your hips up. You're lifting your tailbone and getting long in the backs of your legs. And then you're going to rock the shoulders over the wrists. Take your right foot, step your right foot up on your right hand, and let that back knee drop a little. We're working on getting some length in your left hip flexor. Nice. And just work on keeping your hips square. And press through your left heel. If this feels super intense, bring that knee down. Right? If not, then you can keep it lifted. Now take your right hand, press your right hand onto your right knee and twist. If you don't need the support here, you can lift and try and get even more open. And then let's bring the arm up, extending it like you're hugging your bicep to your ear. So we're getting some length in the side body. Bring it back down. Step your right foot back. Lift your tailbone again as you drive your hands into the ground. Drive your heels down towards the ground. Lift your tailbone again, and drive your heels even more. You can just keep lifting the tailbone and driving the heels, and lift the tailbone and drive your heels here. And rock your shoulders forward. Step your left foot up by your left hand. Drop your right knee a little. Keep your hips and your chest square. And think about length in your hip flexor, that front part of your hip that pulls your knee up towards your chest. Those are the muscles we're trying to lengthen. Take your left hand, put it on your left knee, press into the ground, press into your knee. If you want to, you can pick your left hand up, reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling and the back of your hand back. Thinking about working your bottom rib back and up. Hand comes back down. And guess what? Yep, we're stepping it back, lifting your hips again, and drive your hands into the ground, fingers spread nice and wide. Lift the hips, press the heels. Lift the tailbone, press the heels. Lift the tailbone, press the heels. Beautiful. Now, bring your knees down, come into a seated position. I love twisting to reset. It's like bringing out the body. Particularly after core work, I find it to be a great relief to the back. The back works really hard during this. So, flat on your back, tabletop position with your legs. So I have a 90-degree bend in my knees and a 90-degree bend in my hips. Tee off your arms. You can be palms down or palms up, whatever feels good for you. Relax your head, get nice and long in the back of your neck. And keep the bend in your knees and your hips as you bring the legs to the side. Keep both shoulders pressed down on the ground. I'm bending to my left, so my right shoulder is going to want to pull up. Just kind of think about working it back down. And then brace and exhale up to center and windshield wiper them to the other side. If you want to bring it deeper, you can put some pressure on your top knee. Or exhale back to center. You can do a straight leg variation if it feels accessible. And that's going to bring this twist a little bit deeper. Still working on keeping that opposite shoulder down on the ground. Exhale. Back's nice and flat. And let your legs fall to the side. And exhale. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock it nice and gentle. Feel the ground. Massage your low back. When you're ready, come on up to the seated position. And give yourself a hand. Look at our, does anybody else have sweat angels? Here's my sweat angel. Oh, how is everyone feeling? Besides sweaty and questioning why they associate with me. I know I've got that lag, so I'll give it a minute. Super, super grateful for everyone for being a part of this. Oh, see, look, now I'm seeing, now that I pull this down, I'm seeing this little error. Please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent. So if anyone knows what any of that means, please feel free to inbox me. I will be watching plenty of YouTube videos and getting this figured out before next week so that I know how to use all these things. So thank you, everyone. You can, oh, thank you. So, oh, yay, it's both of you, Zoe and Isabel. I miss y'all so much. Please, if you feel inclined to drop a tip, you can, but you are by no means obligated to. You can get me on Venmo, and it's at WERKOUT. You can also make a donation to the TG-ENBY project via our website, TG-ENBY.com. And stay tuned there. I am working on Devin, yay! You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. You know, stay up to date. I am definitely utilizing this time to come up with all sorts of fun things. So be on the lookout because my brain never stops. So the wheels are turning, and I've got some good things coming your way. So I'm super grateful for all of you and appreciate you making this a part of your practice. So thank you again. And I'll see you next week, Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Check the website for the link. Bye.